Hello, and welcome back to another grubby scripting video, where today we are going to be going over headings and CSS, cascading style sheets. Now, if you haven't watched the last, or part 1, click the top right corner. There will be a thing pop up on your screen. Make sure you watch that before you watch this, so you can understand the basics of HTML and paragraphs and all that kind of stuff. Alright, now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into headings. Headings are defined with the tags H1 to H6. So H1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All of those are tags. H1 defines the most important heading, H6 defines the least important heading. Now here's an example of all the headings in order. Now, one thing to note is that you only use HTML headings for headings only, and not to use them to make text big or bold. That'll be something we'll go over with the CSS here in just a minute. So anyways, headings are very similar to paragraphs. Here's just another picture of what it would look like from heading 1 being H1 and then heading 6 being H6. Now, let's go ahead and show you that. I'm going to go ahead and create a new text document. I'm just going to name it that. Alright. So now let's go ahead and save it as, let's do that. Now it'll save it as this. Let's go ahead and open back up Notepad. We're going to open. Now we're going to find the HTML file. Okay, so now we have the code open for our website. So now, you'd obviously know this. I'm going to go ahead and put up okay, so now, you already know this because you should have watched the other videos. What we're going to do is go ahead and do less than H1 greater than, and now we're going to go ahead and put our content here. We're going to put this is the biggest heading. We're going to go ahead and put less than slash H1 and then greater than. Now the H1 is the starting tag, or is the beginning thing. The text in the middle is the content, and then at the right, that is the closing tag. And here's an image basically showing you where each of those are and what each of those are. Alright, so now that we have that, let's go ahead and save this. Now let's go ahead and open this back up. As you can see, it says this is the biggest heading, and as you could see in the image earlier, you saw that there were 6 different sizes of headings. So let's go ahead and copy this. This is medium. I'm going to set this to H3 since that's the middle. And now H6. So now I'm going to go ahead and save that. And then as you can see, this is the biggest one, that's medium, and this is the small one. So yeah, headings are really quite simple. It's just about the same thing as paragraph, except it bolds it and it's used in search engine and stuff like that. Alright, now that we've got that out of the way, let's go ahead and transition over to learning how to use CSS. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to CSS. You're probably wondering though, what is CSS? CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. CSS describes how HTML elements are to be displayed on screen, paper, or in other media. CSS saves a lot of work and can also control the layout of multiple web pages all at once. Okay, so style sheets, or CSS, or cascading style sheets, CSS, is basically just used so you can, like, for example, add color to a specific text or a heading, which we just went over, to make it like blue, or change the color of the background to like orange or something. I don't know. You decide. Anyways, what we're going to want to do first is go ahead and make this document, or the HTML code, compatible with the CSS. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go ahead and write a couple of new things that we haven't written before. Give me just a second. Alright, so what we're going to want to go ahead and do is less than, exclamation mark, all caps, doc type, HTML. Now we're going to want to go ahead and close it off. Open up another one, HTML, no caps. Go ahead and open up another one, head. Alright, now that is the beginning of what we need. Now, what we're going to want to go ahead and do is link rel equals styles sheet. Alright, it's going to look like this. Make sure it looks exactly like this. Now, go ahead and put href equals styles.css. Go ahead and close it off. Now, what we're going to want to go ahead and do is close off the head statement, so /head, and close that off. Now, go ahead and open another one, put body, close it. Now, let's go ahead and put our heading. We're just going to put open h1. This is a heading. Alright, now let's go ahead and do /h1 to close it off. Now /body, and then /html. Now that closes off all of this. This is our website currently. So we don't currently have a CSS file, but we now have our website set up to go ahead and accept that. So if we go ahead and save this right now and open it up, you'll see that it just says this is a heading and it's black. We're going to want to make it blue. So let's go ahead and make a new file or folder. Just go ahead and name it whatever you want. Go ahead and put your HTML file into the folder. Open the file. Click New Text Document. Go ahead and name it Styles. Open it up. Save as. Now, make sure you put, I'm going to go ahead and make this bigger. Make sure you put styles.css. Save it as a .css file, press save. Now, if we go ahead and close this out, delete the text file you just made, and now we have a CSS file. If we go into properties, we can see that it is a cascading style sheet. Okay, go ahead and double click on that. Now, let's go ahead and get to the very basics of CSS. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pull an image up on screen. Alright, as you can see here, this is an example. Now, you're probably wondering, what the heck does this mean? Now, where you see the tags, or the definers, body, H1 and P, we already know what H1 stands for. It's a header. P stands for paragraph, which we already went over in the last video. Now, body is something we just recently put into our script right here. This is basically the website as a whole. So if we go here and we go ahead and put body, background, color, go ahead and make it whatever you want. I'm just gonna make it orange. Now make sure you put this here and then a semicolon to close it off. Then you're going to go ahead and go to the next line and close it off with another bracket. It should look exactly like this. Now go ahead and save that. Now we're going to go ahead and open up our website, and you'll see that the background is now orange. So that worked. So if we go here, we can change it to blue. We save that again. We open up the file. You can see it's blue now. So that's that. But now you want to change the color of your text. That won't be too hard. It's pretty much almost the same thing as this. Now, since our text here, the header of the website is under H1, we're going to go ahead and put H1, bracket, color. Let's just make it, what color should we make it on orange? Let's just make it green. Let's go ahead and do that. The same thing as this to close off this line with the semicolon. And then we're going to go ahead and close it off with the bracket. Let's go ahead and save. Go back to our file and open it up. As you can see, the text is now green. We can change it to blue as well, whatever you want. Now, since we know how to change the text, it's probably a bit annoying that it's just on the left and not in the middle like a lot of websites are. A lot of them have their names and stuff in the middle. So that's going to be really easy. Now, what we're going to want to go ahead and do is go back to our H1, press enter here to make a new line. Okay, so now that you've made your new line, what we're going to want to go ahead and do is type text align. Make sure you put the dash there and not a space. Semicolon, or sorry, the whatever it's called. Center. Now we're going to want to go ahead and close it off just like we did this one before. Let's go ahead and save it. Now, if we go back and open it up, you can see that the text is now in the middle of our website, at the top in the middle. So now we can just go back here and just add whatever we want. So yeah, that is some more of the very basics of HTML and CSS. Next video, we'll get into more depth with the CSS and more tags and stuff in the actual website code. Anyways, that's it for me, and I'll see you next time.